This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
Oh,
All
Rebecca
right.
coming up next.
Jesus. All right, what's up, everybody? It's Open Comps. It's Friday. How's it going? We're here. Last show of the year. And
Drayden, you didn't get my nameplate right.
that's the one you had me make the other night.
I'm in PL now.
That would have been nice.
I'm in
Nope.
habit.
Anyway,
Okay, anyway.
Brisk's pin is right, so I got that.
Can you flip my?
It's not one
camera,
thing, it's
maybe?
another.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, the reality is, I could say Drayden's going to screw things up.
Go
and
through
even
this
if you get it right,
every night. Every
Oh
week.
gonna
my
screw it up.
gosh, Drayden.
like a rule.
I feel like it's the Iron and Curse, man. Every time, every stream that ever starts on Iron
don't
is
wanna
like, I
be
think we
flipped that
got
way,
this
Rain.
right.
What?
Welcome, everyone.
How'd you flip the right way?
It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh,
Open
I might-
Comps.
I said that. And then, anyway, so this is like a year in review show. We're gonna, Carneros, thanks for the resubs, 62 fucking months. And Brisk, 21. Hot damn.
I'm a baby compared to Carneros,
Yeah,
sadly.
he's a boomer. Yeah, so we're gonna do a year in review. Bring this up.
We're not just doing a year in review. We're doing a decade
Decade
in
in review.
because this is the last Open Comms of 2019. It is also the last Open Comms of the second decade of the 21st century. So here you go.
What is it?
Party.
What is it now? If people like subscribe, like we just get
get
another
emote.
No, I
freaking
think that was
emote or
LD.
something.
Yeah, it's something Twitch did. Now when you subscribe, you can gift people an emote for stuff. Raiden,
Oh,
thanks
yeah.
for the
There you
resub as well. Yeah, so login. Quick reminder: there's still time for those login rewards. They gave you guys like a month to log in 13 times, so
I think you still got like 11
Have
days.
any of
or-
you guys not finished the login
I haven't
campaign?
finished, but I got
I
12. It was like 11 or 12 more days. I only have like 5 more days to go. So
I've got one
I'll
day
be good.
left for like the last 3 days.
Ah,
It's like I've just got
the last one is the best one.
I know, yeah, but I know I've got time, so I'm like,
like
yeah,
Christmas
See, that's
Eve
the
and
thing.
Christmas and all that shit. I was doing shit. It's like I wasn't bothering.
They
about
should
it.
not. They should have made it tighter like they did last time, where you had to be like on 7 of 8 days, or else you didn't get the
Yeah.
final one.
It's something
Because
like
that's what
yeah,
you want on the holidays.
500,000
Is the
Log in for skill
14th
points.
day? Is the secret 14th day when we get the
I wish.
permaband skin?
Yeah, no, they
Yeah,
that,
Skin's
that's
not
coming.
just not coming.
Manic.
The secret 14th day.
Manic found
Permaban
that for-
Skin Gate. I want to hear all about this because this was the most exciting thing that happened this week.
It didn't come in the crates, but Convict says it's coming in 2020. There you go. There's the story.
That's
I just-
Cole's notes.
As usual, we are overpromised and under-delivered. And don't ever change CCP.
So what happened was, in the event dev blog for this Naughty and Nice winter event, they mentioned that in the crates that we would get, there would be an unreleased permaban skin, and I was all hyped up about that, but it never came in any of the crates. So I tweeted at CCP Convict, and he's like, "All right, I'll look into this." Turns out they just copy pasted the text from a previous events dev blog and used it for this one. They
Well-
changed up the dates, but they didn't look too closely at what the rewards said they were, because it even mentions boosters, and I don't think we got any boosters in this event either.
No.
It
He's
said
got
it.
straight
It said it
XP.
was a copy error in his thing, and when I reread that after you and I had talked, I wasn't sure if that did mean what you're saying it means with the copy paste thing,
Well,
or if it
copy
meant
error, I can
So
think
in
of
the
a copy error
copy,
in
in
my
the
head,
copy,
that means
somebody
there's
just
an
messed
error
up.
in the copy. There's an error in the copy
Right.
in the text. So I mean, the Occam's razor, simplest explanation is probably the right one, so they probably just copy pasted it from another.
So
dev
was
blog.
there another one that had said an unreleased permaban skin? I mean,
Well, didn't we get a?
Yeah,
didn't
we
get
did
We got
last
these
year.
permaban
permaban
skins
skins
last year?
earlier.
You got one
last
for the
year,
Saber.
Yeah, the Saber and the Rogue.
Rogue. Yeah.
right? But I'm saying, was there another one that read an unreleased?
I
Permaban
don't know.
skin?
But
Who
anyway,
knows?
so
That's a good question.
Convict replied to
with
me,
Google should
and
figure
he
that
said
out.
that there's an event coming in 2020 which will have an unreleased permaban skin. So look forward to that.
That's right. You got 12 whole months to wonder which month
But
that's going to
I
be.
guess Dirk was expecting me to be super pissed off about this, and I just wasn't.
Yeah,
so
Pitchfork
This
sorry,
is
sorry to disappoint. Dirk.
The most important thing that happened this week.
It's the
Indeed.
biggest failure of the decade.
It was
The biggest
worst.
failure
The
of
last-
the decade.
Eve
it
is
was
dead.
the last failure for CCP of the second decade. of the
They
21st
left
century.
us one more.
I'll be
They
honest.
had to get it in
to
on the
close
wire.
out the
little
year.
sur-
They just slid it in there.
I was a little surprised by the when I thought that maybe there'd be somebody out there, whether it be you who's big on permaband or like somebody else out there, who kind of like got a little crazy about it. Because I was surprised at the fact that what they said was, "Oh no, it was a mistake. Fuck it, we're not making up for it," as opposed to,
are
"Oh
making up for
yeah, we're gonna do this thing." No, they're just saying no. It's gonna be this other thing in the year as was intended. Sorry, we misrepresented what you'd be getting.
Yeah.
But the one
But,
good thing about
I mean,
the whole thing
what,
was, man.
what getting pissed off is not going to change anything. So
No,
the
it's
good
not-
thing,
no.
the good thing was,
Feigning outrage, maybe though.
the good thing was that he got back to you in like 15 minutes and admitted it was a mistake and got it all cleaned up. They didn't ignore you.
Yeah,
They finally
it was
got
awesome.
it. You got an answer. It was great. That's how it's supposed to be.
CCP never ignores me, Brisk. When I
Well, of
reach out
course,
to
you're the most
CCP,
punchable
I
face
have
in
some
need.
pull with CCP. So when I reach
There
out
you
to
go.
them with a problem, I get a response very quickly.
He's kind of a
I'll
big
fix
deal.
that for you, man. I'll get you.
Do you even know
Kind
who
of
he
a
is?
Big deal.
Do you even know who I am?
Most punchable face. That's spectacular.
Did you join Habit?
Yeah.
Okay.
You should see his art. Oh man, can we show your art and craft?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So
So you can check
speaking
out.
of permaband skins, because this is funny, and I think you guys will appreciate this. So last week on the show, I gave Drayden the liminal skins from London because
Yes,
my
thank
wife
you.
has been pestering the living fuck out of me for the last month since Eve London to give them to Drayden, since I gave them to Merkelchen instead. So I got him the skins and I gave them to him for Christmas. She then says to me, literally yesterday, after reading all the stuff about Manic and the permaband, saying, I don't even know, what is a skin? I've never heard of what are these skin things?
She's
What is-
adamant
what
that
is this
I
thing?
know.
What is this thing that you gave Drayden? I don't even know what it is.
Some of the best.
And I
shit
had to
they made.
explain to her what the thing was for like she's like,
Did
oh,
you
so
tell her it was a super Kerr-induced nano coating? Because
She-
obviously,
that's
Yeah.
what I said. I said it's like an acronym for some in-game shit. And then I was like, look, it just lets you change the way your ship looks. She's
It's a
like,
paint job.
oh, it's like an outfit in Fortnite.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
yikes!
Yes,
Big yikes!
yes, it's exactly
Yeah.
like that. Yes.
Yeah, but hold on. To your credit, Brisk, I actually am one of those few pilots that play zoomed in because I don't have to FC anything. So that skin actually
You
goes to
always-
use. I
You
enjoy
gotta-
it.
That's what
anytime
I'm
I
saying.
fly
That's-
those ships.
You gotta use it.
Yeah,
And I'm glad that you got the good skins because the liminal skin on the Nurgle looks great.
they all look cool as fuck.
I really like the casino one for the Iggy Tursa. I liked it better. So I think
Yeah.
they patched it or fucked something up because for the longest time while you were spooling your disintegrator, it just all the lights turned red and it looked really, really mean. But it doesn't do it anymore. I was a little bit disappointed.
Manic, what flavor White Claw are you drinking? Is that
Tonight
mango?
I'm drinking lime. We just polished off a case
Fine.
of grapefruit, but lime. I'm a fan of any beverage that is green is high on my list.
Mine too.
Surge.
Surge was
Yeah.
awesome. I used to. Oh my god, that was like my
I love
thing in
Surge.
college. Surge was
Shamrock
so
Shake.
good.
I'll take a shamrock
Surge was
shake.
good.
And
Shamrocks are all right.
Baja
Shamrock
Blast,
Shakes are good.
the best Mountain Dew flavor in the world.
It
Mountain
is.
Dew.
We just got it in Canada. It's delicious.
You just got it in Canada?
We just got it. Yeah.
Oh man,
There's embargo at the border.
Embargo Baja
did we
Blast.
get a trade? Did we get
bargain.
all dressed chips for giving you our Baja Blast?
No. The government got a hold of people in the States enjoying poutine, so we requested that Baja Blast be shipped up.
Poutine is so good.
Now you know what's funny, and I
That's
love
excellent.
poutine, but I was going back to the White Claw thing. We can't find the lime White Claws anywhere around here unless we buy the mixed set. So
Come
I
to
got to buy
Utah.
like a mix and get all the random flavors
come
that
to
nobody
Utah
likes
to get your
the
alcohol.
limes for my wife.
I
I'll
think
have to.
I think it's the same in North Dakota now that you mention it. Because I have
like
to
I
watch.
can find mango for her, and I can find all the flavors everybody hates, but I can never find lime. Which is
Maybe they just sell out. I don't know.
They
I have to
do.
walk past where all the White Claws are to get to Wild Turkey, and they always have the mixed, and they always have raspberry, and that's it. I don't ever see
Now
any
you
other ones before.
actually can get booze in a regular store. So for me, I can only get wine and beer in a grocery store. I have to go to the ABC store for my real stuff.
That's how it is in North Dakota.
That's how it is in Idaho, but
So
now
dumb.
Washington, I think it was like 2 years ago, Washington, now they can sell booze in the grocery stores. But it's not fucking worth it because Washington's liquor tax is ridiculous. I could get a 1 liter in an Idaho liquor store for $25. It's $35 for a 750 milliliter in Washington. So, fuck that.
I am being told that I am not trying hard enough to find her White Claw lime, so that's my bad. So
Can't you get it on Amazon?
I don't know if I can get booze off Amazon.
You can.
You can. You just have
White,
to sign
White
for
Claw
it.
is
There you go.
White Claw's
Okay.
not booze.
Order
I
it
was-
by the fucking
Alright.
case. Amazon Prime that
I know.
shit.
I know it says there's alcohol in here, but I don't believe it.
I should.
I
do
was
that.
back in Florida last week, and I went to buy a bottle of wine for a girl I was trying to smash, and they're like, "Nope, I can't sell you that because it's 2:02 a.m. and now we can't sell alcohol after 2 in the morning." I'm like, "This is Florida. There's no rules here. The fuck you mean?"
They
It's
won't sell
really-
you alcohol, but they'll sell you meth.
Exactly.
I mean,
It's Florida, man. There you go.
apparently there's
All
a
right,
county
we
thing.
actually all right. So to get us back on track, because Dirk and I were talking the other days, and honestly, you people can't stop
Pander
fucking
too much.
talking about everything but Eve.
This
We have
is
so
true.
much
What's there to
Eve to
talk
talk
about?
about.
Who wants to
and you
talk about
people-
Eve?
We spent the whole year
Can't talk
talking
about
about
Eve.
it. Why can't we
What-
talk about
what
it?
about
No, we
Christmas?
have it.
There's
we have
actually a
it.
whole
For Christmas?
bunch of Eve stuff to go on tonight.
We have a ton of Eve stuff to go on tonight, including the year in review.
Like
So,
what?
like what? Like a whole year's worth of stuff.
Like what? What even happened this year, Brisk?
Oh my
It was
god.
so boring.
How,
No-
half
nothing
of us
happened
didn't
to
even
me.
Play.
What
I-
did we?
I
What
def-
did
nothing
we get?
definitely
Capital
happened to me this year.
rebalances. Big
No.
deal.
So, Dirk, why don't you start and we can have a conversation about Eve shit.
Oh, he's shaking his head. He's not
He's
happy.
got he's got it. He's already upset.
Dirk's already.
He's
checking
already
out.
mad.
He's
Oh no, it's
already
like
pissed.
it's like why don't we let lightweights take care of the lightweight type topics, and then we can get into the heavier stuff ourselves.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. I
Oh,
figured I
lightweight?
figured I'd let these guys talk about booze for a little while, and then we'd move on to the
No,
meat
but
of
like
the show.
go through the year in review, and I don't know, tell us what happened.
There is.
Don't
a
make
lot
me
to
tell
go
you what
through, so
happened
we
because
should-
I was too busy working on the decade.
The decade is important. I mean, we'll get to that. I assume we can
We
do the
will,
year
we
first
will
because
get
the
to
year's
that
faster.
because you'll be, because honestly, looking, and I'll say this up front, looking at where we are now from the context of basically December 2009 onwards, right? So the things that set up, what was going to begin the decade to where we are now. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's in there, and it really happened kind of early on. And you got to look at, we've come a long way in certain ways, and yet we haven't. So, but let's do the year in review because the decade thing is kind of secondary in a way. I think what happened this year. There had to be some big shit that happened this year besides they had multiple fan fests and stuff.
Well,
There
yeah.
is 100% turnover in the community team.
Well, hold
I
on.
mean, that's on
True.
the list, definitely.
We put it in the. We can
64
go month by month,
Bitcoin.
and I think we can just completely skip January because nothing really happened there. There's.
Yeah, January's pretty.
Not necessarily. January was the tail end of the test deployment to attack Horde and Geminate, which wasn't small. I mean, that was a pretty good little brawl, or a good little. I wouldn't call it a war. I don't know, content deployment or whatever term we wind up coming up with it. But it was a lot of fun. I remember we were talking about it about a month ago, and I'm like, this is what we were doing a year ago today, in the middle of the, because on our list it says the Dread Bomb, and I remember that waking up and the Aussie's got a whole lot of Dread kills, and I get shit.
I actually don't have really any wars on here other than just the more recent when Imperium deployed to Tribute, and then that ties into the Drifter freak out. But mainly just because I didn't have a timeline for wars. I tried going through a lot of the old articles to find out what the hell happened all back these months ago because I don't remember freaking last week. So that was going on in January. February, that's when they said the Alliance tournament's not happening. I don't know if it's ever coming back. I mean,
Based
Brain, how
on-
did that make you feel?
It was really upsetting, actually. So I had really hard to do with music, but no, I love the AT. Like when I came in, especially like starting streaming and starting to do hosting stuff, the AT really interests me. So it was kind of like, I wouldn't say like my like love child or whatever the fuck. Like some people are really dedicated to it, but it definitely like gave me personal growth, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a very interesting thing to get into within the game that not a lot of people get to experience. I also kept a lot of veterans around. I know a lot of people credit the AT, like people give shit like, oh, there's no gambling, so you can't, who cares about the AT? Only like 10 members can fly in it, who cares? So the Alliance tournament was single-handedly the thing that brought Goblins back into the game, who now runs Pandemic Horde, which has over 15,000 members of it, as well as contributes to one of the top 3 largest coalitions in the game. So before people like shit on the AT and blah blah blah, and CCP says they don't see any benefit of the AT, well, that's single-handedly one of the reasons PanFam exists the way it does now.
Do you
Plus, it
think
was-
the AT is going to come back, Rain? What do you think is going to happen next year?
Based on what CCP has said, no. Falcon told me he would leave if they never brought it back, and he's gone. So I'm saying no.
Ruh-roh.
They're probably gonna bring it back in some like shoddy form that they thought would work. I know many folks. So if you looked at the championship series, which was ran this year, by DTM and he calls himself like the B crew or whatever it was, the B team. But those
team,
guys, yeah. So they ran like their own tournament. Even T has run sort of its own format of a tournament, and I know CCP's been trying to mimic that, especially for the World Series, the World Tour tournament series, because it's a lot easier to at least handle compared to the scale of the AT. But in terms of how we see the AT as it was in all of its glory days, with the metagaming, the spying, the theory crafting, and the dedication of the players, no, we're definitely not.
Plus, it was a good source of camaraderie. I remember most of the time during the AT, everybody would always congregate on comms, and we'd always watch our Alliance, because NC never won, so we always watch Nidaspar and the crew try their best to push it as far as
Got
they
close a
could.
couple times.
NC's
Yeah.
gotten top 4 like past 2-3 years.
Yeah, but we've never won. I don't think.
No, but to be fair, top 4 is really good. And like I remember talking to some pilots, because like everyone would ask at the beginning of the year, they're like, well, is the AT coming up this year? Because we need 6 months of practice. And I sat down with the guys once and I was like, well, how much do you actually practice? And they did some like math, like okay, well, here's like how much we theory craft, here's how much we physically practice setting up on CC, moving assets around on TQ to get ready. And they compared it to like if they had spent the equivalent amount of time Roracle mining, they would get the same amount of ISK as if they got first.
Damn.
So all of those like 50 ships, or I guess like first place gets 25 of each. And that's, hundreds of billion of ISK each. They can make the same amount of money more Roracle mining as if they would practicing. So if you expect 64 teams to at least do some of that rather than PvE or whatever the fuck in the game, that's time they're taking away from being able to contribute, safely make money ratting or mining. So it's dedication, a lot of dedication from the players.
Maybe
and I feel
that's why
that.
it went away, because CCP wanted them to work while mine instead of spending all their time practicing.
Maybe. Who the fuck knows?
Maybe. Excellent point.
That's the weirdest 4D chess I've ever heard.
You never know. They seem
Gotta
like
push
Rorqual.
this stupid
It
empire
wasn't-
building meta.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like a child's play for some folks, contributing. It's kind of like, I mean, AT's closest what we would have to what you would call like an esport or pro scene or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And professionals like I want to say professional players, both like real life sports as well as like internet or gaming sports, dedicate a lot of time to it, and that's what AT pilots did. And mad props to them. Not even just the pilots in the arena, but other pilots setting stuff up and spying and whatnot. It's really
I
interesting.
remember it used to, like when Init would do their practices, it was like a huge deal, and it was all super secret. And I mean, we had better OPSEC on our AT team than we did in the freaking Alliance in general. And
Yep.
It was pretty cool.
Yep, it was very interesting. Some of the guys explained some of the metagaming and spying tactics. Like I remember on CC, like Thunderdome was great because like the rules were stated you are not allowed to like spy, so you can't like sneak a cloaky alt into someone else's system just to sit and watch them play. Whereas like when it was on CC, the goal was you generally got like a wormhole, you moved all your stuff in, and then you kept it all super secret. Well, if someone else found out that wormhole, they could just sit in there cloaked and spy, and then they would know your comps and your meta and your strategy.
I would think that whoever was doing that should have an alt named Bill Belichick. That'd be a perfect spy alt to go in there and steal
You can't impersonate real people, so you have to be William Belichick or something.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, so I'm sad
3
that,
Ls.
the AT is gone. I think that, I mean, to me, that was one of the biggest things this year, at least personally.
That's why I asked you about it when it came up, because I knew that this was a big deal to you. Another big deal, one big deal it was for me, we found out in February at the second summit of CSM 13, the big news of March, which was CCP Guard left the company.
Yeah.
And that is one of, I think,
Shots
probably
for CCP Guard.
in the top
Shots.
5 most important things that happened this year was Guard leaving. So
Yeah, Guard is, I mean, as far as I can remember, and I'm sure it goes back even farther than that because he's worked. How long did Guard work there? Since 2002, right? He was one of the original guys?
Yeah.
Since before the game launched.
Yeah, so
he was a GM for a long time.
he's been, I wouldn't say the face of the company, but probably one of the most recognizable faces of the company. And then gone.
I'd say
Just-
before him it was
I-
like CCP Soundwave, but Soundwave was
I didn't even
he
know
was a
Soundwave.
he was a legit developer. He wasn't a community guy. But I remember Soundwave being basically the face of CCP before Guard.
Was Soundwave the one that Siegel replaced? Did he have basically her job?
No,
'Cause I don't really remember Soundwave, but I think he left soon after I started playing, so I didn't really.
Soundwave
wasn't really
left
into the
around
game enough to know him.
2011, I believe. But anyway,
then that
I'm
was before.
sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to
He
Guard.
went to 2015. He left in
Okay.
2015 to go to Riot.
I mean, it was a hit. It was a hit to the community team. I think it was a hit to kind of, having somebody with his personality. It was kind of on the side though, and everybody loved him because he was freaking Guard, right? But when it comes to EVE Online, the game itself,
It will. You need somebody like that who can read the community really well. Like even if they don't play the game well, Guard was very good at communicating and talking with people and getting involved with people and sort of taking the community's temperature is the only words I'm coming up with.
I mean, I'll even push back on that a little bit. Like, I don't remember him communicating with the community as like anywhere near what Falcon did.
Are you serious?
Like actually out there in multiple different mediums, like
Okay, so
interacting.
are well, no, Guard. I'd say Guard and Falcon were probably on the same level in terms of interaction with people.
But they did different stuff.
They
Most of
did
the
different
devlogs-
stuff.
Falcon was the
definitely.
forums guy for the
I
longest
mean,
time.
they
But
were both very
I saw
active
Guard
on
to be
Twitter.
more the entertainment side of
Guard was very active
communicating.
on Twitch.
Right, Guard was was streamer. He was permabanned. He was
07 show.
DSM and 07 show and that stuff. And Falcon was more forums and Reddit. And then
Pulse.
when they did the Pulse thing and that's
Yeah.
Tor Bushido says something here, and it's kind of going to where I was going. Falcon did more communication. Guard was just super likable. And do you want to know why? One of the reasons why Guard was as super likable as he is, other than the fact that he's a super likable fucking guy, okay, and he's entertaining, is that he wasn't doing those kind of communications where it was like, he wasn't the guy announcing shit that pissed people off.
Yeah, he wasn't the bad news guy.
Yeah, he wasn't the bad news
Falcon,
guy. Everybody
Falcon
loves
was
the
really
good
good at
news
being
guy.
a
I
I
think
think
shield.
that was
Well,
Falcon,
and that was the
Fozzie, and then for a little while,
Well,
what was his name that came out the Jump Fatigue that everyone
Well,
blamed?
Oh god.
That guy got,
Fozzie?
anyway, not to derail, but that guy got
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
on
yeah.
hard.
But that was the thing. Like, I feel bad for guys like Fozzie, who got blamed for a lot of stuff, and it because in the end he wasn't even the leader of the team that did all that stuff. He just was the face because he was the one that spoke English the best that they put out front because he was good on camera, and it just sucks because he gets labeled with all this stuff that he didn't even do. But that's the nature of the beast. But that's how it was. I mean, Guard was on the other side. Anything he did, everybody loved it. Nothing would stick to him, and nobody ever stayed mad at him for more than 5 minutes.
Nobody blamed him for jump fatigue.
Right.
Yeah,
He didn't get
nobody-
blamed
Or
for anything.
Sov, or
People blame
Grayscale,
Falcon
that's what I was
for a
trying
lot
to
of
be.
shit.
Grayscale,
There's
nobody
nobody-
fucked on big
But
time.
that was the thing. When Falcon left the company, I heard mixed. Some people were very happy about it. Some people were very upset about it. It depended on who you were talking to. But there were people that were like super dicks to Falcon when he left, and I was okay. And There were a lot of people that said the same thing about other folks that left the company. Guard is the only person I've ever seen that left the company and not a single person had a negative thing to say.
It was like
period.
universal praise. Yeah.
I mean,
I-
because
I guess
he
it's true.
really
Like-
wasn't. He really wasn't on the communication side of.
You're
of
right.
negative things.
It was more like media and promotion.
He was. He was very.
and he
media
had that.
promotion, and he was
the hype
really
train.
damn good at that.
Yeah, he had the personality for it.
I've never heard Falcon sing or dance or like seen him dance or shit like that, but like I'm going to assume that Guard had it on him.
Yeah. One thing I liked about Guard, and I learned this after working with him for so long, is that he always wanted to try something new. It's amazing how often, like, how right he was. Like, he just gets an idea in his head that he wants to try, and he puts it out there, and everybody loves it. He was just this incredible, like you said, he's an incredibly likable guy. And yeah, there was just universal praise for him when he left. It sucked.
Now,
I mean,
you know
it was
what?
good that he got universal praise. It sucked
I did
he
like
left.
that he stuck around and still went to all the events, did the permaban thing.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't there in Toronto, but I mean, all the other ones. He was in Vegas. He was. Was he at Eve Down Under in London and all those? He didn't go to FinFest. I know.
I don't think I saw him in London. I don't remember seeing him in London.
Maybe the better way of doing some of this is to like categorize, like kind of put it into categories of things that kind of happened this year. And since we're talking about both Guard and Falcon at the same time, I'm going to do a fucking shot for Falcon because look, this was a guy who was out there and he was engaged in various mediums out there, maybe some of which he should have left behind. But you know what? He was out there and he was, knee deep or neck deep or whatever the hell it is, arm deep, into engaging with the Reddit community and everything else. And the loss of him later in the year, coupled with Guard earlier in the year, really did strip that team out. I'm not saying that their replacements are bad, but these were kind of the longtime faces of the community team, which had already been depleted in recent years. So like the old guard of that team is gone, and we're now in this other one. But I do want to throw one out there to Falcon because that was a guy that would he'd PvP with the fucking masses as a community guy. That made him disliked at times, by some elements and whatnot. But you know what? He was always pretty solid for us. Anyway, I think he was also pretty solid for the rest of the community. So I'm, shots to him.
Shots.
They were both perfect for the community for different reasons.
Yeah.
They played
They were good teams.
exactly.
They were good
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say they played off each other because I don't know that that's exactly true either. But they complemented in some ways.
Well, if we're on devs, so they brought in CCP Convict, bam, and are they still missing the second community guy? Because Falcon and Guard.
Oh,
They-
oh,
No, it's
they're
him and
in-
Dopamine.
They're in the
Oh,
final.
Dopa came in.
Dopamine, yeah.
So there's Dopamine. They're in the final process of hiring a third.
Yeah, Dopamine came in last year, though, right?
Manic, are they
yes.
gonna hire you?
You applied, didn't you?
I can't speak to that.
Oh.
Oh.
No, they're not going to hire me.
Oh.
I don't think they could afford Manic, to be honest.
I would love to. Honest to God.
Shit, I
That's
got
my
like
dream
$10.
job right
Let's
there.
go.
Look, if I'm ever moving to Iceland, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be as ambassador, not as some CCP employee. So there you go.
If we want to move on to other personnel,
But
I think,
I mean the first, the first part, because we probably should speed this up, or
I was moving on to April.
Well, we're half an hour in. We're a third away through the
There's
year.
a lot
so
to
that's
talk
fine.
about.
I,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
gonna I was gonna move on to April, Dirk. The first thing there on the April
All right.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
'Cause that
I
was a
asked
pretty
the
big
question. I asked the question in our channel earlier today about honestly, I don't remember much prior to the Briskcident. And that was because there really wasn't much
Briskcident.
prior to the Briskcident that took place. And then somebody reminded me of Guard and whatnot. It's like, okay, yeah, the Guard thing, obviously and whatnot. Because I remember the early part of
Would the
year.
Brisket have taken place if Guard was still at CCP? Questions we never will know.
I put Brisket, but yeah, I think Brisket is better.
There really wasn't a lot because I remember, earlier in the year where it was like we were struggling for topics and shit like that, and
Then I came around and created
then all of
content in
a
April
sudden-
for you.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you created some serious freaking content, and that actually gave us some shit because we are one. I know people don't think so, but we are one of those shows that thrives on talking about the drama and shit that goes on.
I feel like for us too, Like that lasted like a whole couple.
That was a big
more than
stressful
that.
thing. We were
Yeah.
all salty as fuck about that for about a week or two.
Well, and it was hard because when I remember when it all went down. I mean, the first people that I told were you guys. You know, that was the first people that I reached out to when this happened. Second, I mean, obviously I emailed CCP first. Second group was like, guys, shit's going down.
No,
got
hold
banned."
on. Your literal thing in Discord at that moment was, I just got banned. I don't know why. We'll get back to you, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
and of course, because it's fucking open comms, none of us believe us.
Yeah.
Right, we all thought it was
None of us
bullshit.
believe you.
He's fucking
Get
around.
outta here.
Well, and the funny thing is, like,
That never happened.
This was before we had our own Discord. We had just a little private Discord chat of just us in the channel. And Brisk comes out and says that, and then eventually we hear this stuff, and Brisk's like, "Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit." We're like, "Yeah, that's bullshit." Brisk, you didn't fucking actually do this, did you? Like we were like on the side, like, Brisk.
No.
You
No,
better
seriously,
fucking
seriously.
not have.
Did you do it?
Because if you
I
did,
remember Rain on the Open Comms show that the week that it happened. You weren't there, Brisk. I think you were probably on the phone with CCP. But Rain was like, if he actually did it, fuck that guy.
Well, look, honestly, that's what a lot of people said, I have no problems with that, because if I had seen somebody else had done the same thing, I would have said fuck that guy. So that's there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it was really weird for us because of the fact of you are on the show. You know,
Right.
and it was like it was strange because we're sitting there going, okay, number one, we don't have any information from him other than this, than this happened, but it happened to him and he's one of ours, so we need to kind of like, what do we like take his side? You know, it was like, no, you know what? I want to see some fucking evidence here. And maybe, you know what? If it wasn't you, we would have been sitting there going, ha ha, hang that motherfucker. But
If it wasn't Brisk, it would have been pitchforks
Oh, it would have
and
been.
torches.
It would have. Oh, exactly. I mean, depending on who it was, if it had been
Fair.
somebody else on that CSM, oh yeah.
and there is always that kind of like close proximity to people thing where you sit there and go whatever. But like, as it was playing, I'm sitting there going, wait, this is like not enough. This is like kind of, shit. Now I feel like a fucking Republican who's sitting there going, it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
No clue.
And then I do remember saying though, but what if it is? like would they do that if they didn't have enough?
Well, that was the
You know?
argument. Excuse me. That was the argument a lot of people made. Was there's no way that they must have rock solid evidence, because there's no way they would do this. To
Like
him
they
if this
wouldn't do
wasn't
that
There
to a
was
true.
the-
CSM.
yeah.
They would not shit on a CSM guy publicly who has his real name out there and all that kind of freaking stuff. And like, we know where this is going to go. Like, unless they got some shit, right? Like, he like raped a thorax or something. Like he did something.
Jesus. Well,
But I mean, to be fair, if you know anything about like how CCP does things, or especially like behind the scenes and how they investigate things, or like if you yourself had made a ticket before and then they're like, no man, sorry, it doesn't work. You can't send me like screenshots of a Skype message saying your friend's RMT because that doesn't count. Like most people would be inclined to believe that Brisk was truly guilty, that CCP had all the, what do people call it now, receipts. They had all the evidence, they had it unlocked, they did their investigation, it's said and done, especially with a 3-paragraph dev blog just calling them a piece of shit for the
Exactly.
and that's
Like,
and that
'cause
was
they
what
came out strong, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They weren't
came
like,
out
we
swinging.
think some stuff happened, but like they were just like bam, bam, bam.
But that was it.
Ban.
Like the way that they were talking was that it was all, you should be ashamed of yourself, Brisk.
I know.
That
Like,
you would
it was
betray the
not-
community this way.
You should go
that-
sit in the
I think
corner.
that was our
Brisk.
main
You
issue
sit and
initially.
think about what you did.
Before we found
Right.
out, and like obviously you couldn't talk about it for NDA reasons, even to us, but we were sitting there saying, regardless of whether you are or not, the way they came out with it, the fact that they just came out and just said all this, instead of just saying he was, his account was banned, he was removed from the CSM, and then just let people just, hey, you can imagine for yourself what's going on. They came out and just like, here's all the charges against it, and that was a little uncharacteristic of what they normally do, and so that's what.
Well,
we
and
were a bit
that
upset
well, and
with.
that was one of the things that we pointed out that was weird, because other folks had gotten banned in the past, and it was usually, these two people, this person has decided to leave the CSM, and we're parting company amicably, and
I think it would have been a lot
you
less of a fiasco if they had just done it that way.
right.
Yeah,
When Manny
and-
got banned, and then I mean,
and
it
that was
like
really
these-
one of the things
okay.
that
when he
we
was
talked
removed
about
from
quite a
CSM.
bit, during the kind of ban thing, was the way these things had been handled in the past. And it's like, man, this one got handled in a nuclear fashion.
First strike.
Which was why I would sit there and say, like, off to the side without you listening, Brisk. It's like I'm like, hold on, but like, is there a possibility he did it? Like, it's like, goddamn. I'm like, hold on, what did Pando do and lay it on Brisk's desk?
But look, and I agree. Look, I'll tell you, when we did
because remember, it wasn't just Brisk. Remember, there were
it was me and Pando and Dark Shines too. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, look, anybody that knew me and knew my relationship to Pando and Shines would, all right, these guys talk all the time. This is the two FC, like lead FC for Init. If any Init person on CSM was going to be leaking, those are the guys they'd be leaking to, right? I mean, that would be the philosophy that I think most people would have, and they see that and they automatically. So it makes perfect sense to me. And to be honest, what Rain said, I would have been one of those guys prior to what happened to me that would have been out there saying, look, these guys have processes in place. I've talked to team security. We had a whole session with them in CSM in September, and we went over all this stuff, and they take their job seriously, so there must be something there. We just have to trust the company. Yeah, and then it happens to you.
I mean, the silence
right?
the silence from most of the CSM didn't help. There was.
Well, I couldn't say anything. That was the thing. I mean, even now, like it's funny because Jin Tan did a year in review thing.
There was
and
one
wouldn't
out
talk
there
about
that said some public shit, and and I'm sitting there going, okay, well, wait a second, hold on. There's one that said some public stuff about I can't, I'm not even going to.
And had to walk it back. Right, so hey,
no, I know, and then there were like other ones that were just silent, and I'm sitting there going, whoa, what is going on here?
I had to go back and read the thread before I made any comment.
But I mean, hey, all's well that ends well, and it got resolved. And I mean, I have to say, it took less than a month to get it all fixed. So that was pretty quick. And I said before,
that was a pretty hyper month, as I recall it.
It was
look at the stuff that happened there.
And that was it was also a period of time that we were basically incommunicado from you. We weren't really hearing anything from you because it was kind of like, you were working whatever the hell it was you were doing, and and we're sitting there going, well, shit, how is this going to fucking roll out?
I mean, the other side,
and then all of a sudden it was just like zip zap, freaking backtrack.
Our
I'm trying to scroll
celebration
back.
stream was actually really fun, by the way. We all had champagne and like banners and like.
That was a fun. I'll be honest, I want to.
Was that the one where we all were like, I am Brisker Ball, we all dressed up?
No, that was the first one.
That was the protest one.
Thank you guys. The protest one. With the Law and Order beginning, everybody behind
that was such a good intro. Oh my god!
I mean, guys, that was like, thank you. I mean, seriously, that if I ever had a question of whether or not this was the game for me, the fact that you guys did all that shit, even after I was crapped on, when people were still thinking that I did something wrong, that was pretty epic. So I love you guys. Thank you.
I mean, you're lucky we like you because it was like,
we're gonna I know, right?
You
no matter what.
We probably
whether
could
you're
have had
innocent
more
or guilty,
fun on
we're
the
gonna
other
meme
side.
the fuck out of you.
Exactly, which is fine. I expect it. But I appreciated it. That was very good. That was a good show.
That was honestly my favorite part of the whole thing, is the memes that came out of the backside, because I was in no way, shape, or form involved, like at all.
That's everybody's favorite part of everything. All the memes and the propaganda.
That's the best part.
I mean, so
a war comes out, it's like, yeah, someone might win. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. But just the propaganda that comes out during the wars is the best shit ever, because you get all the creative people making
like
all
people
that
really
stuff
just watch
so
for the
fun.
Commercials.
It basically makes the narrative of
we
the
all
war.
we all remember the "Do you like waffles" commercial.
Yeah,
we all
Do
remember.
you like waffles?
Now look, during
Camel
that same time frame, it wasn't only the Brisk that happened. We also had shit like what?
Katia Say, that was massive in April too.
Yeah, so they
Katia Say and the hitting all.
The hitting all the spots was before, but the April was when they actually put
they announced the monument.
Yeah, they put the monument in space.
Look, I love Katia Say. That guy is awesome. I saw him in Vegas, and I talked. He was on Talking Stations with me.
I got a selfie with
him. Stuff. He's the man. Dude. He is a good dude. He is my. I don't want to say ideal, Eve player, because I kind of want somebody that blows stuff up more, but he is a very, very quintessential side of that that type of Eve player. He's very genuine.
Toronto was the first time I met him, and he's super chill.
It was funny when I saw him in Vegas. He introduced himself, and I was like, "Oh my god, can I get a selfie with you?" And he was like, "That's funny. I was gonna ask for a selfie with you."
Tale as old as time.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like that's the kind of guy you want out there as an ambassador for the game, because he's just a genuine good dude who did a pretty freaking amazing thing that is never going to be, duplicated. He's the Joe DiMaggio of Eve
Yeah.
Online. So I give him
That's
credit for that.
it's the spirit of the game that you really want to conceive too, because like somebody who sets a lofty goal, I can't even begin to think right now how many systems are in this game, let alone how many planets and all that stuff. All this stuff this dude just went around and saw over the course of the time he's playing. It's kind of ridiculous.
And he cataloged it all on his blog. Like,
Yeah.
And that's the
It's
best part, because you know it
insane.
wasn't bullshit. He had photos of every system.
Yeah.
You knew he was there.
But
It
for
was
somebody
real.
to set such a not lofty goal, but such a huge goal, and then
That's a
spend their
lofty goal,
entire
to-
time
to
shooting for
travel
it.
to every system. I think there's over, I think including wormhole space, there's over 6,000 or 7,000 systems.
And that was the funny thing, because I
7,000.
remember when it first came out and first announced it, and he's been to every system in Eve. I was like, okay, he's been to all K-Space.
It's not that he has been to every spot. He
did it without dying,
visited
right?
every system without dying.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that drove me. I was
That's
like, you went to every
insane.
single wormhole system and never got killed, not
You have to
once.
take into
That's
consideration he started before
insane.
nullified ships were a thing. So he started.
Yeah.
right, and he did it
Yeah.
in like a Proteus or a Tango or something. I remember him saying,
Insane.
it was like, this is nuts.
There
You're
were
a
other
blingy ship that everybody wants to kill, and you happen to pull this off. I still, what the guy
there was
did
a
blows
couple
my
other
mind.
things
He
in
deserves the
April,
money.
and this is more game mechanic related that I think. Now, I mean, most of the mechanics on this list that I put in here we're probably not going to talk about, but these two I think actually caused a pretty big impact on the game and how it's played now is the remote rep nerf. Like faxes got nerfed into the ground as far as and the
No,
and the,
Not enough.
Not in the ground.
Not,
Not
not
in the
hold on,
ground,
not into
not
the
enough.
ground, but they got brought to a level where you having 200 faxes is not going to make your super fleet immune to damage. Like,
I mean, kind of.
It still is.
you can
'Cause if you have
listen,
200
we tested
faxes-
that. We tested on this on Sissy. Like if you have like 50 to 60 dreads, you could still kill a Titan through fax reps with this in
Right.
place. So
But
you
here's the
can-
problem.
Look, I
You're
am,
not-
I am
before you
very
just
proud of the work that we did to nerf the faxes on CSM 13, but it still needs to be more.
Well, and then the hot
But-
Titan nerf too.
But
So you
here's
don't
the
see
thing.
hot Titans
Here's
just
the
blasting the
positive
shit
thing.
out.
At least they did
subcaps.
fucking something.
Exactly.
At least
the best part about the
we've
Titan
had
about
some
the
beginning of looking at it, and now they can see how this plays, and then be able to make the next iteration, whatever the heck that is. If it is too much, then they go back a little bit. If it's not, then maybe they continue to move on. But at least it's something that they did where they've put in that kind of stacking.
right,
sort of
because
penalty.
at this point to change it any more than it is now is easy. Not easy, mind you, because I'm not a coder, so I have no idea. But like, it's way easier
But-
now to just pull, to make it so the stacking penalty is a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker. And basically, what Dirk just said, it makes it so much easier for them to adjust it from here. However, to disagree with what you said earlier, if you have 200 faxes, you absolutely have way more supers than that, and
Yeah, you do.
150 dreads is going
It
to
better be
evaporate.
1-to-1. Rain,
under-
don't you
yeah.
put that food in your fucking mouth.
Right, right.
Rain, do not put that food in your goddamn mouth.
Right.
Do
So
it.
that's the
Stop
thing. Is
it.
that you can't just take 50 dreads and like this will kill a Titan. But I was
He did it.
I was saying that if you're
Off
dread
camera.
bombing and drop 250 dreads, you're going to eat through Titans even with all those faxes. Whereas before this change, you might not even.
But that's
kill one.
Drayden, here's the thing. The one thing that we demonstrated last year, because we only had like one semi-Titan fight this year, is the fax reps don't matter because you're going to alpha
Well,
them off.
it's all the
It's only going to
doomsday
kill them
guys.
Take
anyway.
your
You got a
doomsday.
doomsday. That's it.
Yeah.
And
You
you
know,
do the
there's no
button.
other way to kill the Titans in those big fleets.
Yeah, but the
other
thing is, you
than,
can dread
alphaing them
bomb
off the
for a
field.
lot cheaper than you can, bring enough Titans to doomsday other Titans off the field, and it's a lot less risky.
It's
Like,
not necessarily just a freaking change that is there for the doomsday on doomsday, right? It is for the other forms of things. It's like at least they did something. At least we're on. And you know what? Hopefully, this is something that is still on the radar and continues to be iterated on in a timely fashion, as opposed to let's not revisit it, 5 years from now
Right.
again, and sit there and
Jesus
go,
Christ,
oh,
Rain, if you're going to eat with your mouth, don't eat with your mouth closed if you're going to eat. God.
Not eating
Chew with your mouth closed.
There's no food in my mouth.
Did
Sorry,
let me ask you-
Derek, go ahead. Keep going. I apologize.
the-
No, we also had the. Go ahead. What?
Oh, I was gonna ask, but did the rep change? So the stacking nerf, did that also come with reps having fall off now? Was that in the same
I think the rep
change?
fall off was
No,
before. that was way before.
That was
Yeah.
before.
That's been way
Okay, I
before.
was
This was
wondering.
just
I
the
can't really
stacking
remember.
nerf, yeah. And then that was pretty. Oh, the other thing in April was that's when Army of Mangoes started up. That was kind of a
Was
I don't
it
know
really
if
in
that, that's as
April?
impactful.
Yeah.
I think it was around that
Wow.
time that we started to get a lot of the discussion about players from Serenity coming over and things like that. Yeah.
Do you guys remember
whether
that
it was
Reddit thread?
Army of Mango or not?
That Reddit thread was so terrible.
I don't think I read it, but
It was
There was a lot of kind of bad stuff that was in there.
they've been a controversial group since they've been here. First, like moving into the space next to Test, and them not being in Legacy, but at the same time fighting on the same side sometimes. But then the big one for me, I don't know if it's on here or not, but I want to kind of jump ahead, is their director, whoever buying Ranger Regiment. That was kind of a precedent that I don't think we've ever seen really in EVE, is somebody just straight up paying for an alliance before.
Which is funny
No, I
because
didn't put that on here.
have they done anything with it? Because it doesn't seem like it. Ranger Regiment's still up north fighting you guys now, and they're still part of Deadco.
Be right
so
back.
Right, but it's more the precedent, right? It's just,
Yeah, it
if
is
you
weird
just
to
have
have
enough
somebody
money
buy
to
an alliance.
if you have enough money to throw around to buy an alliance, like I don't really, me personally, I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't really like what this means, because if one person does it, then it opens up the idea of, well, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can buy fucking Darkness for however much Darkness is worth. You know what I mean? But it's
Probably like 14 Australian dollars or something.
look,
like
I
that.
was about to say, I'd be
Shit, I
more
got
than
like
willing.
250.
I'll give Vince $20 for NC Dot. I figured that's at least twice what it's worth.
By the way,
So,
just
come
kidding,
on.
sort. I just wanted to throw tree fitty, right, Noisy? But
350.
that was about the time when the whole Chinese migration from Serenity and whatnot really started to like pick up in terms of discussion out there. Look, this is going to be one of those things where because we've talked about it over the years. Everybody's talked about it over the years. What would happen if blah blah blah. I guess we're going to find out. We're going to find out what happens as they get bigger and as they begin to kind of take on their own sort of thing as opposed to being aligned with people. Maybe, who knows? And you know what? It's good for EVE, I think, especially in that time zone. So.
Well, I think it's going to be
I,
interesting to see what happens to all of these big Chinese groups when
Wolf Clan.
Serenity
Sorry,
finally.
oh shit, Wolf.
Merry
Clan's
Christmas,
here?
Wolf
Hey,
Clan.
Wolfson. Hey, Wolf.
What's up,
What's
Wolf
up?
Clan? Haven't seen you in a while.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to all of these groups when and if Serenity ever reopens. Are they
I
going to
don't
go
think
back over
they'll
there?
leave.
They're
No,
gonna
no,
stay
they
here?
broke
I don't think
partnership
they'll
with
leave.
was it TN City? I got that. That was in September. TN City
have-
broke,
look,
and
they
they're no
haven't-
longer
they haven't-
supporting Serenity.
Right. Well, they're trying to
Yeah, but
relaunch
there's-
Serenity.
Yeah.
The problem is that they're having trouble with the Chinese government. So, and that's all public stuff that's been out in the public domain. So I'm not leaking anything.
Then I heard
So-
some crazy thing the other day about, it's like they're beginning to draw down here because they're like EVE echoing or like whatever the hell it is. And I'm sitting there going, okay, whatever. It's like,
know.
you know what? Just let the shit freaking play out. We don't need to speculate about all this kind of stuff. It's like, it will happen or it won't. We'll either have, kind of like maybe what we'll talk about later if we ever get to the freaking decade and like, kind of the Russian powerhouse sort of thing and, all this stuff, right? It'll happen or it won't.
Yeah, I would like to say of all the groups that have moved over, the only ones I actually get a lot of direct interaction with is the MSN, the members of the Northern. God, I always fuck their name up. The Northern Moon guys, and then Vin Vidi Vici are the only two Chinese alliances I really get a lot of interaction with, and I love those guys so much. We were fighting in it in GOTG and Ranger Regiment, and we hit up Kinosabi or Sao Sao, and I'm like, and Tachi told him, it's like, hey, get the Dommies into those fleets, see what happens. And he's like, dope, I'm going in, but in Chinese English, and they did it. Like, it was fantastic.
That was fun.
Now, the other thing that did happen in the beginning of the
Best
year,
things
right,
for
was we had
freelancers. So.
we had changes to the war deck
He
changes.
needed one.
And these were some very much needed war deck changes. Brisk, you were a member in good standing during
point.
the during the CSM that you hadn't been impeached from yet. These
Impeached but not
were,
removed.
You
and
were
I know
removed, but
that
then
I know that
reinstated.
Tor
I
is out there
resigned.
right now, so he probably has some different thoughts, maybe about it. But I think generally speaking, these were pretty well accepted.
I think so. I mean, as far as I can tell, at least based on the activity we've seen over the last 8 or 9 months, what we wanted to do with the war decks has happened, and obviously there have been some growing pains and some minor things that they had to fix, and people found exploits that they had to take care of, especially
They had like
testing those
4
guys.
different updates on it.
Right. They had it. I mean, but the best part was
The
they spent the
HG.
time. They did
Yeah.
3 or 4 months of solid dev work, created a new system that fixed the problems that they identified with the old one, and then they iterated on it over the course of the year so that it's accomplishing the goal that they wanted it to accomplish, meaning that you can still war deck stuff, you can still kill high stress structures, but it's not destroying the game for new players and letting these groups feed off of these new player groups. It's great, you know, and every once in a while, these guys are still getting good content. Shout out to Pirate. They killed me in a 5-bill Leshak the other day. So, you know, they're still
Right.
getting the content that they want. It happens.
I will
Uh,
say too that if this year was really interesting, and I don't think anyone ever really thinks about this. So you have all the war deck changes, which was one of the few changes that single-handedly helps keep new players in the game, according to CCP, and well, according to the players as well. But we also had like this was the big year where it was like Test and Pandemic Horde at like 2 notorious null-sec alliances just duking it out in high
Oh,
sec.
that stupid Keepstar. God,
Yeah.
I hate
I
that
think
shit.
it's hilarious.
But like,
I mean,
imagine
who-
that.
who
Like,
would've
if you were to
thought?
tell, yeah, if you were to tell anyone that, they'd be like, "No, man, fuck high sec PvP." And then these guys were just going at it, just like feeding ships, like battleships, battle cruisers, one after the other to try and fight. And
That
like
doesn't have anything to
10%
do.
tie-dye and Jita
with-
and
I'm just
shit.
laughing about like Killer Bee taking Ferox fleets into high sec to go fight. That's just amazing that actually
I
happened.
thought,
this
I
year.
mean, to be fair, like as much as I hate high sec and like high sec mechanics, like that, I thought that was pretty impressive. They fixed a lot of the old issues, so like neutral Logi, neutral alts, etc. Brisky said you died to Pirate. We fucking dunked. We went to high sec last weekend and dunked on Pirate.
Did you dunk on him? Good, thank
Yeah.
you. You got him
We
back
like
from
a
me.
1 bill Drekavec or some shit like that.
Oh
It was
man, they
fucking
killed
idiot.
I had blinged out and in fact 5 bill was what it said on Zkill, but it was worth more than that because I had 3 Abyssal and Tropic lows that I had rolled that were better than Officer Fit. So yeah, that was a pretty solid Leshak kill he got off of me. So it happens.
What were you gonna do with that?
So one of the things that I like to do, I'm an honorary Karma Fleet member in Goons, and every Saturday night we have what's called Saturday Night Swarm, where all the Karma Fleet guys and anybody in Goons or Imperium wants to come. We get on comms and we go and we do a fleet. It starts at 10 o'clock Eastern, and we have a DJ, Mind One, who streams on Imperium and INN as well as on his own channel. That just spins just for us that night for like 3 or 4 hours on every Saturday night. So we just go out and do random stuff. And that night we were doing killing a bunch of POS towers, and we always have this big fight over who can get top damage and who can get the last kill. And we give out prizes for whoever gets the last kill, like a billion ISK if you get the final blow on one of these POSes. So we were all taking the stuff out, and I had rolled a bunch of. I rolled like 20 Abyssal and Tropic lows to try to get top damage, and they caught me on the Jita undock because I was stupid enough to fly the thing the 4 jumps instead of putting it in a freighter. So it happens. Shots to my dead Leshak.
Shots to the Leshak. The other thing, so a lot of this other stuff we could probably skip over because we're trying to get to the decade in review, I guess. But this can kind of summarize a lot of July, August, even September, and some of the more recent stuff in this month. These login events for skill points and the bonus skill point weekends and the bonus skill the amount of free skill point, and then also earlier in the year when the chat fucked up and they gave everyone 500,000 skill points per account, the amount of free skill points they've given out this year blows anything they've ever done in the past out of the water. I remember back in the day when they gave away like 50,000 skill points, and it was like, holy shit, free skill points. This year they've given out probably, if you've done everything, you've probably gotten 4 to 5 free million skill points.
Easily got a few million. Yeah.
Easy.
So
It was a year of free skill
it's
points.
Did we have
something
the
that-
Bernie
But
Sanders
but you know
expansion
what?
this year?
Right, it's
But that's a
basically
good thing.
it's skill point welfare.
Did we
I mean,
miss that?
But it's good because here's the thing, and this is one of the things, they're always talking about monetization, and they want to do login rewards and login campaigns, and what can we do to give players something for doing things that we want them to do, like logging in, but that don't have an impact on the economy. And skill points is the obvious thing. As long as they're not giving out injectors that you can sell, if they're just giving out stuff, skill points is something we all want. We all value them. Even Brisk has 180 million skill points. I still have stuff I'm trying to train. So it's something that everybody wants. Veterans like it. New players like it. It benefits new players more than anybody, but it also benefits veterans and all their alts. I got a ton of free skill points that I put on my Sino alts to get them into different recon ships now. It's the easy thing that they can give out that doesn't have an impact on the economy, but players still think it has value. So it makes sense that they're handing out a bunch of these right now. I think it's the right way to do it, to be honest.
Just hand them out.
Well, I mean, it's nice when they make you do something for it. Like the skilling spree stuff, I think is better because at least it gets people in space, and you got to go kill an NPC or go do something. Even the festival launcher joke where you have to go throw a snowball at an NPC, that at least got you into space, and that potentially created targets for folks that are out there, want a PvP.
I'm going to agree with
hey.
Omeka. It should be about activity in space. It should be about doing something for things. Login rewards are cheap. But that being said, I think that a number of things that they have done over the years have led to this point where now giving them away only is proof positive that they have completely fucking devalued time and skill points in this game.
Right. Well, that's what I was getting at. Is
when they build the events around in-game activity, people bitch that they have to undock.
Yeah. Well, think about it.
But even
back
then,
in the day, before skill injectors existed, go back 5-8 years. If they had given away 4 million skill points in a year, people would be outraged. They'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Of course they would.
They'd be
but that was
out.
But that was before.
But nowadays, like
but
it's
that
just
was before.
it's like 500,000 skill points. It's no big deal. Like it's
But here's the thing.
Once
Okay.
you have already devalued something to the point of it no longer has the meaning it was before, you can then begin to just give it away for free for no fucking reason.
But the thing is, the value of different things change over time. And as soon as they created skill extractors and skill injectors and let players do things that way, where it wasn't strictly this time-locked thing that it had been since the beginning, then all of a sudden, okay, your time is less valuable. This is what has value. Plex is what has value now. So what can you hand out to people that
Free Plex.
what can you hand out to people that has value to them and provides a reason for them to want to do something that motivates somebody enough to want to do something like log in or go undock and fight or do something.
And by the way,
that doesn't have an impact on the economy. What
There's
else
conversation
is there?
going on between different people out there and stuff like that. But what I do want to say is this: this is nothing against kind of wanting to help new people get up to speed, accelerate more into the meaningful parts of Eve kind of thing. It's about just sort of this blanket fucking sprinkling of fairy skill points, over people's heads. And
part of it is design.
We're way past the point of where any of it matters.
Part of it is.
I don't even know
part of
why
it
we
isn't-
don't just literally skill people up and just go fuck it, go.
Part of it is because it's a benefit to new players. But I mean, think about it this way. If they didn't do that, if they didn't hand out any of this free skill points or any of that kind of shit, then the only way that you'd be able to get new skill points is by buying them. So they're literally losing money when they give these free skill points away, because otherwise you'd have to be doing it the old-fashioned way, and that would be putting money in their pockets.
That's what I mean by the buying everything. Once they crossed that Rubicon, it opened up the rest of it. And no dunk, I just said it's not about hitting newbies. It's really wanting to help newbies, but not also want to allow veterans who have been in it a long time and are already skilled up and things like that to be able to take advantage of those new situations just at a thing because of also getting the free shit. So I think that there is a way of doing these things that doesn't benefit the high end just as much as it benefits the low end.
Well, that's what Nightmare was saying. Accelerators, make some kind of accelerators that boost your skill point accruation or accruement or whatever. If you're under a certain amount of skill points,
but they do that too. But having the skill points itself
doesn't help the veterans.
Has value. But I mean, here's the thing. To a new player, 500,000 skill points is a big deal. To a veteran player, it's not that big a deal.
And new stuff.
But all of these things have relative value for everybody involved. But hey, you know what? I'm a veteran player. Brisk, like I said, has 180 million skill points. My Titan alt has 100 million skill points. But I've got a ton of alts that are lower level that definitely got a benefit out of this last login campaign, for instance. My market alt is almost completely trained up now, finally. I have another fax alt that I'm making that's almost completely trained up now. So there is benefit to veteran players because all of us who are veterans, we all have more than one account anyway.
I think
you guys have alts?
Look, I think they should take skill points from veterans to give to
single
new
account
players.
master race.
I think they should tax skill points out of
You're a
veterans'
wormhole.
heads.
You can't have a single.
Okay, Bernie Sanders.
and then give to new players.
Can I just say
we should have
the-
skill point re-fucking
Wanna count, by the
distribution.
way? Wormhole, by the
Can
way.
I just say the
Dirk
fact
Sanders.
that a lot of Eve and the fact that it has parallels to real life politics and the fact that we can all sit and meme them on Twitter or whatever is absolutely hilarious and it makes for some of the best conversations that I've had with you guys, especially Dirk.
Seriously,
On
the
Twitter.
conversation about Eve Zoomers and Eve Boomers
That
and
was excellent.
Gen Y, that's some of the best, the
And
most
again,
creative
shit,
memes
okay,
I've
I
ever
do,
heard.
I do want to skate through some of Look, okay, so I'm
Dirk's-
sorry.
I think that skipped all
I
the way
wanna-
up to
I wanna
All right,
October.
so we-
I
all
wanna
right,
bring-
so
I
hold
wanna
on a
bring
second.
us back.
It's
I want to bring.
legit cool.
We're not even halfway
But
through the year. We're
Dirk,
halfway through the show.
Dirk.
No, Dirk, we're in October now.
Now here's the thing.
No, we're not
now,
in October.
Drayden,
Because
no,
we got up
Drayden
into
said.
skill points.
No.
We did
Drayden
not.
said.
We did not skip across my motherfucking summer.
Drayden said
okay.
July. We can talk about. We can all sum all this up in like one word, and he said skill points. That's the wrong word, Drayden. You're full of shit.
It's 2 words.
The correct word is chaos.
Chaos.
That is the song.
July, August, and
May-
September are the
May we
biggest things
began-
for the skill
May
points.
we had the invasion expansion, right? So like we had that shit going down. It's like the agency
That's November.
overhaul.
Oh, no, that's
whatever.
chapter
We had the glassing of tribute, okay, going on up there, which was also a big thing, even though it kind of wasn't a big thing. It was another one of those proof moments that something is legitimately broken in EVE Online.
It would have been a lot
when-
more of a thing if
when-
all these pan-fan pussies had fought back.
when you have
Joy
people
structure bashing,
who were
bitch.
known to be basically, you know, at that point, one of the top tier, you know, kind of groups in the game, right? That sit there and go, the option is fight for it or don't, and they choose don't, then we have a significant issue in the game. And guess what? Now that we also have the benefit of months of hindsight, guess what? Their decision was fucking right. Because
I
it
was
didn't
gonna say, are we
mean
having a
shit.
realistic discussion about this right now? Because
Yeah.
I'll love to talk about this that whatever we're calling
Just
it, the
real-
glassing
just-
tribute, the
just
great
real
What do
Meltdown
we call
incident.
it?
Like, yeah.
It's
The
it
boring
was,
war. How about that?
It was
We
the
call
boring
that.
war, and to be honest, as
Well,
much as
a
I
war
hated.
re-
Oh yeah, go and
a
finish. I'm
war
sorry.
requires somebody on the other side to like honestly fight back. Like it meant something to them to fight back.
Dirk, what you want to say is, wouldn't it be great if they threw a war and nobody came?
Well,
Because that's what happened. We threw a war and nobody
I've
came.
seen that before in some other wars recently, but since 2016. But I think that what we have seen here is the ultimate play out of it in like really rapid time. And
So, Bunny,
yet it
all right,
still
so
didn't
I wanna
mean
hear-
anything in the grand scheme.
Well, Dirk and I were on the other
Just
side. I
drifters.
want to hear Bunny's view as an FC in PanFam of the war, because I'm interested to hear what you have to say about it.
So I'll disclaimer this at the beginning. I do not represent the ideals of Northern Coalition or the PanFam Coalition in its entirety, but me personally, I was a little bit frustrated at the time because we weren't fighting back, mostly because I didn't have a good idea about what was going on and what was at stake. So looking back in the hindsight of it, I think the decisions of fighting the fights that we could fight and not just feeding our asses off, because what looks worse, right? So we lose a keep star or two. I mean, that sucks, but I think it would have crushed morale worse than it already did had we have just flown subs into supers every single weekend and fed our asses off. Because you were looking at what could have been.
Hold on, that's the messed up thing I'm talking about, though, right? That like this thing that one would have fought for in years prior, like the decision now is you don't fight really at all.
Well-
If that's what you were willing to commit to for an entire home region, as opposed to the year prior in 2018 when you were over there fighting,
X47.
super cab battles, for stuff that really wasn't your territory, right?
But there's a difference there, right? On one hand, you have a battle that we could take and could possibly win. On the other hand, you have a battle that under no circumstances was there winning. There is no chance.
Because you
there's
learned
no-
from the year before, right? You learned from the year before that there was no chance of winning that. So it's like you just sit there and go,
It's
no.
just more, I think
But
the
here's-
number
And like,
there.
and,
But
and
here's the
that's where
thing.
we've gotten to
250
in
people
EVE
log
Online.
in. We're
So
going
here's
against
the other
900
thing, right?
people,
But
like,
yeah,
we're not
but
winning that.
here's Bunny, this is the thing that I was most surprised about, because in my experience, and granted, I've only
2018 gave way to 2019, and now 2019 is the new norm.
but I've
Decide to
only been
fight
I've
or
only been
don't, not
fighting.
how many Logi you have.
But the point is, the thing that I've always viewed as PanFam, what you guys used to be great at, was even if you didn't fight, you would stick around and harass the shit out of people as they were moving. You'd pick off the stragglers. You'd pick off the slow people because there's always that one guy who
We did
doesn't
that.
make his
And
way
we did
out.
that.
We
I
did
don't
that.
remember you guys doing that as much.
We,
as
we,
you
took,
used
we
to.
took a handful of
That's
fights.
what I
and
was
we won
about to
those
say
fights.
once everybody started talking at once, is there was a lot of fights that Killa and Headliner and all those dudes took where we were able to extract a pretty good blood toll and then leave before they had supers dropped on us. And that's just the way you have to fight something like that, because ultimately it's like the Viet Cong this is a bad example probably, and I might make somebody mad, but the Viet Cong could never fight the United States head up. And nobody expected them to. So what do? We take the fights we can take, extract the blood price we can, and then we leave. Sure, it sucks we lost tribute, but you know what? One could honestly say that the core group that stuck around through drones is the better group to have around, because anybody that's willing to stick
And
through
that's where I
losing
was
a region.
going in the beginning of, and then now that we've got a few months of hindsight on what happened there, right? What we recognize is, and it didn't fucking matter. Because
right.
we have also reached the point in EVE Online where it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, I think
But
that's,
this is
that's
the
the
other-
whole
this is
point,
the
right?
thing
Like
that-
that's the big red flag of this, right? You
Yeah,
have
exactly,
a massive war,
exactly right.
whether
It's
it's
the
in the
second
north,
red
the
flag
south,
of
the
it.
east, the west. But the fact of the matter is, people would rather run away than risk all of their assets. And granted, people have a lot of assets.
Because
It's
that's the
not-
better chessboard move.
It
It's
is
the
like
cheaper
what
one.
like it's better, it's easier, and it's better in the long run to lose a 300 bill Keepstar than it is to drop 300 Titans and fight. And granted, sounding like to everyone else, like especially those who aren't involved, I'm like to me, I don't have a Titan. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's drop Titans, let's brawl it out.
It's always
But
easy to
everyone else,
say drop
everyone
Titans
else
when
are
you
like,
don't have
no. Yeah,
All right,
for
and
sure.
just
But
for
everyone
the
else
record,
is like,
for the
no.
record,
blaming
for the
them
record,
or shitting
and
them
I-
on their decision.
Oh,
That
no,
was
no.
the right
For the
decision.
record.
I think
but
that's
that's
a
the
red flag.
wrong decision in a
the
video
wrong
game
situation to
about
have
conflict
in a
and
game.
stuff, right?
But all right. So two things. First of all, one, Bunny and the guys that were out there killing our stragglers. I have no problems. That's great. I love that. You guys, that's what you're supposed to do. You guys come and you pick a fight and you do the guerrilla thing and you get the kills where you can and you harry us and piss us off and make our FCs mad because guys did stupid shit and lost ships they shouldn't have. Omeka's talking about, oh, where you were in Delve picking off the strat. No, you fucking weren't. You were killing the crabs nobody gave a shit about. The guys that didn't deploy. So don't act like you guys that had absolutely zero impact on anything that happened up north. Period. Nothing. That is the cost of doing business for any of these big groups. Nobody gives a shit. The second thing, and this is the important thing, and Rain was bringing it up and Dirk was too. This is what worries me. 2019 has demonstrated, at least to me, that there is a fundamental problem in the game, because if you're not going to fight over a big giant citadel that costs 300 billion ISK or whatever the value is, I mean, it's less than that obviously now, but whatever they're valued on Zkill, if you're not willing to fight for that, if you're not willing to fight for your sovereign territory that you have controlled for X amount of time, then what the fuck are you going to fight for? What can these guys create or do that will force somebody to have to defend their territory and actually fight, even if it's an Alamo type situation where you got to go down fighting because you can't go down any other way? That's what worries me. That doesn't exist right now. And I thought Citadels was supposed to be the big content creators, and they haven't been. In fact, they've been the opposite. So that worries the shit out
It's
of
kind
me.
of also
Well, look at the
convenient
war
that
in the
just
north now,
before
right?
just before that war we had
The war in the
kicked
north is a
Quiet
really
and all those
bad
guys out of
example
the
for
drone
anything
region, so
that we're talking about, in
to
all
be
honesty.
fair though, right? But like, think about it though, right? Like, what's stopping Darkness / Guardians of the Galaxy / whoever the fuck just stop shooting, pack up all their shit, and leave? And then we, like NC.PL, whoever the fuck else test now is up there, just okay, now we can't fight people and ships. All we have are Sov timers and structure bashes. Like, right? Like, isn't that like the biggest, like, what is it? If that's the strategy now, like, wouldn't you expect the North to do that? Or
No.
say,
I wouldn't, because if I was in Sword Dragon's place, and thank God I'm not, because I'd make a very, very bad alliance or coalition leader, I would continue to do what they're doing now, right? There's no feasible way. This goes back to the Army of Mangos thing I wanted to talk about, but we kind of moved on very quickly. There's no feasible way for us to contest a time zone that we have no players in, period. Like, our only contestable entity that kind of is that does help us a lot is nowhere near the skill level or the size of Ranger Regiment. So feasibly, if I was Sword Dragon and I didn't want to lose my coalition space, I would do what he's doing right now. Set all my shit for the time zone that nobody can stop me in and wait it out. Because ultimately, you can only grind structures and not kill anything for so long. And as much as anybody in Goons can argue it if they want, I had goon agents. I saw the pings and I saw the relays from members. Nobody likes shooting something that you don't get anything out of. End of discussion.
That's not entirely true. Like there are
That is 100%
lot of
true.
freaking goons that are like,
Idiots.
young and all that
Idiots
kind of
like
stuff that are
shooting
like out
things.
there like doing their first like go grind shit out kind of thing. There's also a whole lot of them who are like, we recognize this is not a meaningful thing, so we'll let the young people go have their war.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
is
Right.
people who
But
Yeah, go ahead.
I do not want to rehash the glassing or whatever you.
I don't
want
want to rehash it either. I want to yell at
evacuation
Omeka
or
in the
not
chat
worth
again.
it, you know. Go ahead, yell at Omeka.
Look, he's saying, Britt, when you're blobbed in your home region and you bring a war to another region, and then somebody comes behind and starts killing all your guys back home, that has an impact. No, it fucking doesn't.
No. 'Cause
Those
all
people-
those people that lost Rorquals are replacing themselves.
All of
They're
those
acting against
people. First
RP,
of
and they
all,
can afford to replace them.
those guys are not PvPers. They're not part of your shock troops. They're not the guys up north because they didn't bring their stuff. They're all the crabs. Those alliances, they have Goons has a lot of crabs. Those guys love doing their crabbing stuff. Fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. They're not frontline PvP guys. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been there doing that stuff
But
at that time.
here's the one thing: it may
Okay?
not have a negative.
So you're killing them. So who gives a shit?
It may not have a
You're
negative
killing these
impact
guys.
on them.
It's not going to impact. But Drayden, it's not going to impact. It's not going to impact Goons at all.
I'm
And
not saying
fine,
it
there
will.
was no Titan Ratting happening in Delve. So what? They're sitting on 300, 400, 500 trillion isk worth of value. Why does it matter that there was a month period where you guys were killing stuff and nobody was replacing it? Come on.
Well, here's the thing: it may not
It's
have
not
a
an
negative impact on the Imperium and cause some detriment to their war, but it might have a bit of a morale boost to the other side, the PanFam side. It's like, hey, people are having fun. It's like whether it does anything in the war or not, they have fun killing expensive shit. So it keeps them logging in and going and doing shit. So it keeps them active in a war where they, there isn't a whole lot they can do in defense of it. So it gives them something to do to enjoy themselves, I would say.
I'm gonna
So it's
pop
probably
some
more
tags.
morale on the defending side than
What do you want to talk
detriment
about,
to the
Dirk?
attacking side.
Only got $5 in my pocket.
My wife is telling me I'm not
gonna
allowed
buy
to yell at
million skill
Omeka
points.
anymore, so she wants to hear from Dirk.
You got your 2 Yellow Mecha allowances for the
Wait,
show?
can we hear
Hold
from Drayden about the cruise?
No, hold on.
Oh.
The cruise didn't happen yet. The cruise didn't happen yet because Toronto happened. And here's where I want.
Oh, we got
We're
to
all
at
the way
least
back
do
in
one.
June.
And here's
We
where I
got
want to
look. We got to at least do a shot for the world tour.
Hold on. Here's where I want to do a shot
Shots.
for another category shot to the world tour, as opposed to going through each and every one of those things. Okay. CCP did a really amazing job this year, along with people like Streamfleet who were complimenting it on the streaming side of things, putting together some really big shows across the year, right? So I do want to give a shout out to them. Eve Toronto, I think for all of us that are on here right now, for those of us who went to anything, Eve Toronto was the first one we went to. And I had a really good freaking time. McGurk Jr. came as well, and all that kind of because Canada don't give a fuck. Yeah. So shout out to them for the entire Invasion series.
Yeah.
Shots.
Yep. Has anybody talked to Ivy lately?
I saw her
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Well, I saw her in Vegas too, but I haven't talked to her.
I mean,
in
I
a
don't
while.
think I
She's
sat
all
down and had a lengthy conversation with her, but I did see her and say.
I'm on their Discord. They had a Christmas party just like
Yeah.
a couple days ago. Yeah.
They had
Very
the Eve North Christmas party, I think, last weekend. But yeah, I mean, look.
So we
I
had.
think
I mean,
they
the world
did a
tour.
really good job of that,
Do
right?
you want to talk
Like, you
about that in general? Do you want to talk about the world tour in general? Because that was a big thing from 2019.
Yeah, I mean, they were.
I don't know. We
I
just did
put
a
all the
cat- we
stops
just
on
did a
here, but I know that
category
we
shot
probably
about it,
weren't going
and-
to talk about Eve St. Petersburg or some of those, or Amsterdam, because
Oh,
none of us
oh,
went
look.
to those.
Hold on. Let's quit. How about we quick talk about these things? Okay. So the first one was what? Amsterdam, Amsterdam.
Yes,
How many did you guys go to? Did anybody go to more than 2?
I went.
I think we all went to
to
2.
I only went to one. Vegas was my very first Eve meet. I got to meet all you degenerates
LB,
in
did you
person.
make any of them?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get to any of them.
I got to
All right.
introduce Dirk McGurk and Drayden to Vegas bombs, which are the best thing on the face of the
Yeah,
planet.
Dude,
I-
and now
I am
ordered
quite
them
appreciative
locally.
that I found those because those are great. And it's weird because I was at a bar up here. I was like, "Do you know what a Vegas bomb is?" They're like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yep, that's it. It's actually
It's fantastic.
And then I looked at my bartender and I go, all those times I ordered a Jaeger bomb, why didn't you go, you'd like a Vegas bomb better?
I know.
Because if you think about what they're made of, it's two polar opposites, right?
Yeah,
Because
I-
Jaeger is nothing like.
You mean
like
better
Crown Royal.
flavor and
I-
not better flavor?
When you say
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, when you said like it's Crown and peach schnapps, I'm like, let me stop you there because that sounds fucked up.
I
The
know,
peach
but it
stuff
mixes.
is, and the weird thing is I've had it with just
mixes really
Crown
nice
and,
with the
and Red
Red
Bull,
Bull.
and it's weird.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
It's really good though. I like
That being said, we had Amsterdam, okay, which is normally a mainstay anyways. It got upgraded this year to kind of the semi fan fest level kind of thing. And then I believe we had St. Petersburg,
First
which
time
was really
has
cool.
been
It
in
was
Russia.
only a one-day thing, but you know what? It was really cool that finally the Russian community got engaged with an event of that,
Which is
even
surprising
that
because the
size.
Russian community is a quite sizable group in the
They are a
game, and it's the
quite
first time they've had a
sizable
meet in their territory. So that was not just a local player
CCP
thing.
meet, yeah.
First time
Yes,
they
an
had
actual
a CCP,
official CCP meet. Yeah.
official meet. Yep.
That we know of. Who knows? Maybe they had shit like years before and like we didn't know about it because it was over on the freaking Russian channel and shit. It's like we just don't even know. But no, we do know it. Like it didn't happen,
And
and that's
after-
why it was really cool that they had it this year. Okay, and then we rolled into Eve Toronto. Okay, and like a bunch of us from the show, went there and had a really good time. It was amazing and whatnot. And then literally less than a week later,
It was the
Drayden
next
and
weekend.
Rain. Yeah, it was like the next weekend.
the next weekend.
Drayden and Rain got married, out at the Eve Cruisers thing, which is really kind of
Sure
weird
did.
because usually cruising is just about short-term sex. But
I got her a sapphire ring. Not them cheap
Yeah,
ass.
he knew what
not,
I liked,
Yeah,
so.
not those dime a dozen blood diamonds. That
Blood
bullshit down there that
diamonds.
they get in Africa. I mean, real sapphires, the creme de la creme of rings.
Oh, by the way,
I'll
by
be
the way,
honest.
by the way, I totally missed it, and I'm gonna pour another shot just because I was stupid and I missed it, and I probably missed it because I didn't pour. Well, no, it might be because of the shots. Whatever.
Did you miss?
I do want to throw out that at Eve Toronto is when they announced CSM 14, and there was an audible gasp in the room when they said, "And those are the incumbents that are coming back," and Sort wasn't on there. And the other Australian guy, the judge wasn't on there.
Oh, did you forget who the judge was, Dirk?
No, well, for a second.
God.
I'm getting fucking old, dude.
The other Australian.
The other
Hold
judge,
on. You know
judge,
how old
quote,
I'm getting?
the
I
other
can't remember who the
Australian.
judge
Yeah,
is.
no, I did that. I went up to Sort because I met Judge in Vegas, and then I saw Sort, and I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, nice to see you. I was like, didn't we already meet? He's like, no, who'd you think I was? I was like, the judge. Just Sort who I've met like 5
All those
times
Australians,
now.
they all look
I've-
alike.
Like he's
And
been
I'm not
going to
gonna lie.
Vegas
And then they
forever.
go
It's
through
like, I
and
can't
it's
believe I
like
did that.
rolling up Billy, and rolling up the new people that are coming on and whatnot. And I'm sitting there going, because I did actually hear 30 seconds before it was getting ready to be announced that he had gotten on, and I go, wait for it. And then they announced Omeka, and I go, CSM Gold, baby!
Yeah,
So I'm throwing a shout out to him because you know what, that was one of the more exciting points of the times that I was down in the Toronto kind of meeting room thingies or whatever.
Yep, last
And
year wasn't my
honestly-
year,
and
but this
honestly,
year is mine.
I think every once in a while we have got to have those people that are on, that are on the CSM that are look, not disruptors to the point where they get alienated, but disruptors who are on there that can actually speak to what it is they're talking about. So far, I've seen that Omeka, can handle that shit. All right, I don't know, whatever. Congrats, Omeka. We need
Look,
that kind
I will
of
say
shit.
this. I will say this right now.
Sort still made it.
I am very
I'm not
happy
saying
that
you're right. I'm
eventually-
just saying we need disruptors.
I am very happy that Omeka is on the CSM. I think he's done a good job on the CSM. As far as I can tell, he's been a pretty good member. As much as he exasperates me and makes me want to call him a fucking idiot every day when he's writing in person,
Dude, why do you
he's a
just
great
go
guy.
straight to ad hominems? You
In
wouldn't
person- in
do that in
person-
real life.
In person, he's a great guy. It was great talking to him in Vegas. His wife was lovely. We had a great conversation. I like the guy personally, even though on the forums I want to strangle him. So there you go. Congrats,
go to-
Omeka. I hope you run again.
I know you wouldn't go to ad hominems. I know that wasn't taught to you in the boarding school you went to.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
Just saying. However, then Toronto was over, and we come back and we're sitting there going, oh shit, what can we expect? And what was the first thing out of the gate? $5 for 1,000,000 skill points. You want
Oh
some?
my
It's still
god.
around, by the way.
Still haven't
Hold on.
fixed.
Still
It is,
around.
it is still around, even though we were told it would be fixed and all
Well,
that kind of
they
shit. Whatever.
said they weren't gonna get
Oh,
rid of it.
we're
They-
beyond that with skill points, though. So let's just move
Yeah,
on.
okay, we'll
like,
move on,
you know,
yeah.
And
get our
all right,
discuss
it's just
that out of the
because
way.
I don't want to type it because I got
Right.
Archie in my hand. Oh, Micah, the reason why they left you for last was you were the biggest name
Exactly.
and the most exciting thing. Same reason they left me for last the last time. It was like the big deal. So that you got on. That's why
You
I
got to
did it.
build the hype,
But yes, it butt
motherfucker.
punched me too. I was freaking out.
We
Listen,
had that. And,
next
and
year's
we're
my
sitting
year,
there
though.
going, and we're sitting there going, oh, is this going to be the
Oh, Blazing.
shit that kind of sets people
Points
off?
me.
Like Manic literally quit back then. He actually deleted the actual Manic Velocity
I
and like
unsubbed all
then
my
recreated
accounts.
another Manic Velocity before somebody else could take it.
Yeah, but you resubbed him, Rain.
No, all my accounts are still unsubbed.
You're an alpha pilot
My,
flying a scimitar in fleets? I don't believe it.
Her,
No, she plexes.
that expires.
Oh, that's not
in
unsubbing.
January. No,
That's just
no.
in
So
with
I've been
this.
flexing now because I haven't been able because I'm not paying them.
And
my
just
accounts
when
have
we
been unsubbed.
thought
You're still
that was
paying
going to be
them.
the
It's
drama
someone
of
else
the
is
No,
summer,
paying
she's
them
not
for
paying
you.
them, but it's money that's already been paid.
I know,
So
but
it's
essentially
like-
the money someone else has paid them, you have now owned as this is
I'm not
that
paying them any
person's
money.
money that they gave you. That's my
PCP
money.
can suck my dick.
Yeah, so it's in the. I mean, you could go through all the
And
technicalities, but
just when we
essentially,
thought
quiet.
that was going to be the drama of the summer that we came back to, all of a sudden, Hilmar went chaos.
Chaos.
And all of a sudden, he started talking a bunch of shit like he's just like, hold on. I'm not going to lie. Okay, I'm going to give props to Hilmar. I'm going to do a shot to that motherfucker because, like, honestly,
God.
I thought he was just drunk
Are we
talking
getting after
shit
show
like
right
Dirk
now?
one night. What? What?
I'm just
Oh,
saying,
we're
this is like third shot in 5 minutes. Well, probably not.
Be
that much,
Gucci.
Don't actually,
it.
guys.
I'm
you
doing-
should
I'm
not be
doing short
taking
shots.
actual
I'm not
shots
gonna
every
lie,
time we
because,
do a
like,
shot.
Do shots.
but- You guys
Hold
don't
on.
take actual
I'm,
shots.
I'm doing a shot to
Shots.
Hilmar because I thought he was legit freaking like second hour Dirk. I thought he was just talking shit out of his ass, but then he wasn't. He was like, "Fuck it, pull that button, or push that button, or pull that finger, or like whatever it is, whatever the saying is in
Pull
Iceland."
the button. Pull the button.
Oh man, you have to make that a meme of like the chaos
Pull
thing, like
my
Hilmar
button.
saying, "Pull my finger."
Pull the button.
Oh, I was saying the pull
Pull
my
my
finger thing
button.
and just have like, never mind. You know,
But no, seriously, it's like motherfuckers talking shit out there, and everybody's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, chaos, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, but what if we just black shit out?" And like people are like, "Huh?" And he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna pull your button."
blackout. I mean, that's a
Blackout was fun.
pretty impactful thing that happened. I loved the blackout. I enjoyed it.
Why the hell can't I buy a sub?
I know a
sub
lot of
for,
people didn't, but fuck, that was.
for LB?
And he did say a whole bunch of other stuff.
He
but
It was
already
all
one of
we
the few
heard
times I
was
felt like an
blackout.
actual competent PvPer,
Wait,
like
wait,
solo
wait, wait.
PvPer.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Nope.
Blazing Bunny, stand up.
No, I'm not doing it.
Oh,
Just
Stand
because
up,
Bob,
dude.
just
You know what?
because
That's
Bob is
right,
asking
Rain.
me,
You
doesn't
know
have
the
to
boy
do it. Yes,
can't
I'm wearing
stand up.
pants.
You're gonna get us
Prove it.
banned.
oh no, is it
Prove
Bob?
it.
I am
It's
not
Alpha
wearing
Star
pants.
They can do
Pilot.
it.
Alpha Star
No,
Pilot
I'm
wants
I'm
to
not
standing
stand
wearing
up.
pants.
Y'all are falling into Brother Bob's fucking peer pressure, but I'm not gonna do it.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not
wearing
just
pants.
Bob. It's,
Negative.
it's, it's Alpha
I
too.
ain't
Don't do it. Be
Listen
your
to
own
me.
man.
Get up, Bunny. Stand
Don't
up.
get up in your
No,
crutches
don't do
and
it.
like show
Do what
them
you wanna
that
do.
like
Chris,
you know.
Chris,
Stand
don't
up.
bunny is
Chris,
Bob.
No, Chris, no!
Whoa, whoa! We gotta cut the show. We can't
We're
show
showing
that on
leg.
Twitch.
Oh, we're showing leg, baby.
Oh my
That's
God.
a whole thigh. I'm actually.
Fuck it,
I
I'm
don't know
doing
if
it.
I just didn't
No.
believe you.
Brisk
I'm
is
actually
like
kinda
Angus
mad
Young.
you dressed up
Bunny.
from the waist up.
He's
When
got-
when I
he's got the
started-
suit
when I
on and
started
the short
doing
shorts.
this-
I'll bet Bunny
Shame.
wears tighty
When
whities.
I
Doing
started
this
doing
is a
this,
sign
I
of
would
shame.
wear.
You're not wearing pants, dude.
When I
Bunny's
when I
wearing
started
pants.
when I
Shame,
started doing this, I would
No.
wear the whole suit and get dressed up and everything. And you know what? I said this is stupid. Nobody can see anything
There.
else.
There you
I'm
fucking
just
go.
gonna be comfortable because I would sit in here and if you watch the first couple streams that I did, like I'm sweating and my office is hot and I got these lights and I'm trying
Don't
to figure
blame it
out.
on
I'm
your
like,
office. Blame it on the fact that you know what, you're just not comfortable on stream.
I wasn't at the point at that
Because
point.
that
I
gets
was
more
not.
money thrown at you.
I wasn't comfortable, and so I said, you know what? I'm gonna start being comfortable. So
Tell
hey,
them
you know
about
what?
how you
Start
grew
my
up
stream.
and why you're not comfortable on like camera and shit like that because you were held in the basement for a while. That
Well,
gets
you're in
people
the-
to throw
you're in the
money
basement.
at you.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
I
your childhood.
don't need any money.
Dude, Bunny's wearing
But,
pants. He's
hey.
the real professional here.
Yeah.
Exactly. He wore pants.
I got my
give him
church
credit.
pants
I was
on.
trying to give him some streamer girl points
I got my church pants on.
Streamer girl points.
or streamer person points, or like whatever the like fuck it is these days. I don't know. I'm old.
What month are we on?
I think
We're talking about chaos. So
June-ish?
chaos is
no,
like
July.
Blackout was July.
No, we've already talked about a lot of this stuff. I think we can all, if we were just listing the Eve Tour stuff. Okay, there was FinFest in August and Eve Berlin in September.
Hold on. Here's what I do
Five.
want to throw out there about the entire like summer of chaos that I do believe was a semi-summer of rage. Okay, I believe that there were things like the leaders of Nullsec and the leaders of the people that actually gear up their minions and things like that, I think were a little late to the party. But I think that was intentional, that they didn't want to be at the front of it, like, you know, raising the pitchforks and torches and shit like that. Fuck that. I knew it right from the goddamn start. Okay, so I did totally fucking call it early. Okay, I was like spouting revolution shit out there and all that kind of stuff because I saw where this shit was going. But I didn't have any fucking like, you know, like wherewithal anyways. I couldn't even like light a wet fucking torch or like whatever. Okay. But now that we also have kind of hindsight a few days from 2020, you know, hindsight, which I said again. The fact of the matter is like, as much as it blew up then, it didn't actually extend. Because now we're looking
Derek,
back on it being like, big fucking deal.
But Derek, that's the thing. I mean, think about it this way. And Omeka kind of hit on something in the chat, and I have to agree with him on this one. When you make so many massive changes back to back to back, the player base can only get so upset before they become numb to it all, and they're willing to accept things that they would never have upset before.
CCP has learned how to fucking like, you know,
they figured it out.
Trump numb people.
That's it. All they had to do was watch
just
Trump, and they figured it out.
At that point,
but here's the thing:
wandering around a post-apocalyptic world in the street. Just
if you think about it this way, I mean, in the
denied.
beginning of the chaos, just talk about chaos. The beginning of chaos was the drifter thing.
Right.
That united Nullsec. All the alliances were pissed as fuck that all of a sudden these random NPCs were repping their structures and nobody knew what the hell it was, and those guys all went crazy, and that like unified Nullsec for a little while, and there was a whole we're gonna burn everything and
I remember hearing a thing of all the Nullsec alliances were all going to blue each other and invade HiSec. I wanted that to happen,
right.
And it never did.
And it didn't happen because right after that, then came Blackout. And the funny thing is, even today, I think Blackout remains one of the most controversial things that they ever did, because there are some people on the one side who hated it, thought it was the worst thing, all the crabs couldn't stand it, and you could see the numbers were going down and then they didn't like it. On the other hand, you had guys like Grath and Waffles and folks that were all like, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
I loved
this is the
it.
greatest thing. I mean, Drayden actually came out in solo PvP. It was amazing.
Enjoyed the shit out of I got more than one kill, but I enjoyed the shit out of myself during Blackout, because here's the thing. I am a terrible solo PvP pilot, going system to system, trying to scan people down and fly in there and catch them before they figure out, oh, someone jumped into local, better warp off. I'm terrible at that. But when I'm flying in a D-scan immune ship in a Blackout system, as long as they don't see me come through the gate, I can warp to a random safe and have all the time in the world to scan down your fucking Ishtar running a site. And I will find
that's how fucking bad it was. Even Drayden got a kill.
Even Drayden got kills. That's how bad it was.
I had several kills. I was a PvP master.
I get what he's saying. It leveled the playing field.
Dude,
for a
that
lot of
curse got some work done. The only time I died was when I jumped into a gate camp, and I was like, well, I'm fucked, because there's 30 people in a large bubble when I jumped to the other side of the gate. And the funny thing is, I wasn't paying attention. And I looked at the local chat, and literally as I was landing on the gate, some guy said, hey, NC Dot piece of shit. Like, he obviously was not blue to us. He's like, NC Dot piece of shit, you're jumping into a gate camp, just to let you know. And I didn't listen. I didn't watch. And I jumped in and saw that after the fact. I'm like, oh, fuck, he even warned me, and I jumped into the gate camp. But, dude, I fucking love Blackout. Blackout was the best shit ever. It was so fun.
But that's the thing. I love Blackout too. I had a lot of fun with Blackout. At the same time, I recognize Blackout was probably bad for the game overall, because we lost a lot of like real players, not just bots.
Oh, who's Greenface? That was like oh, never mind. Okay.
What?
Apparently, that's just like whatever we see on screen.
Who is Greenface?
Why am I watching that? Why am I even watching the screen
curious
of
now.
the chat and shit?
What are you
But it
talking
was one of these things where I felt like it sucks, because I liked it. I thought it was a fun mechanic, and I thought it was good for those of us who'd like to go PvP. But apparently, we're not the majority, and it hurt the game. So
No.
So that made me sad.
hold on.
But I liked it. I had fun.
Hold on a second. In the grand scheme of like the whole freaking blackout thing and what, like, again, we have to go back to what it was that brought us here and where we are, and then sit there and go, well, what do you think that this freaking like quick ass freaking like, you know, hammer and nail approach to fixes is going to be the thing that fixes it? No, you've got to have a more thoughtful approach to this thing. And I'm not going to freaking lie, okay? I think it was borne out in the entire process of all of it. We don't give a shit if we get 50 more fucking players who return if 5,000 leave.
Is it
or
worth it,
5,000
though?
don't log in?
So so I wanted to bring this up whenever we were talking about it earlier. You have to kind of weigh. We don't know what the numbers were, right? Is that 50 or however many you said 5,000?
I just
that
made
actually
those numbers up, obviously, because I'm fucking Dirk. Okay, but I'm going to assume that if the numbers were borne out in terms of activity as well as money, okay, they would have sat there and gone, fuck it, keep it forever. Unless it didn't work.
I don't know, man. I was more
What do you
excited
mean you
to see.
don't know? They changed it back. You think
But Dirk,
they
here's
changed
the-
it
look.
back like in out of their favor?
But here's the thing. I think that I prefer that they do this big stuff and get a month's worth of data, and then they can go back and analyze and say, all right, obviously this didn't work because this happened. They're never going to get these types of tests. They can't run a test like this on Singularity. So
Agreed.
you have to do it live and see what happens. And I think they did that.
Did
And I
this
give
shit
them
Bill
credit
O'Reilly
for willing
style.
to do. Exactly. Fuck it. We're doing it live.
But
I give them credit for
here's
doing
the thing,
that.
right? Here's the thing.
Because otherwise they haven't done that before. They've been very averse to making those types of changes.
And honestly, if you went back and you looked where the beginning of the decade began and where the like end of the decade is and like everything that fucking happened in between, and you sit there and you go, does anybody think that there's a simple fucking fix like that for all of the shit that has happened over the course of this decade that
Delete
actually led to
capitals.
here?
No.
Delete
No.
capital.
Hold on.
Even
Hold
then
on
it
now.
wouldn't do anything.
Delete
How would you
logic.
define a simple fix? That's what I want
Fuck
to
you,
know.
Manic.
A simple fix. I'm going to shut off local in nullsec.
But that
Delete
honestly wasn't a simple fix. They
capitals.
did that, but
So here's my.
It had negative
I don't know
effect.
I don't know if you would
That's
consider this a simple
literally
fix.
when I'm like attributing to a simple, a simple movement that they think might be a fix, but just like isn't.
So if you consider a simple fix, like I'm going to change the value on this thing from 0 to 1, turn this thing off, turn this thing on, then yes, I agree. There's no simple fix that'll turn back the player count and the
You
constant
can't
activity.
tweak all these fucking dials that have all worked in the same direction over time to sit there and make more of an abundance economy, okay? And then all of a sudden sit there and go, oh, but I'll just turn off this light switch over here, and that'll resolve the situation and bring it back more into what it should be in terms of balance for a
But
simulator,
doesn't work
a
like
world
Wall Street can't see the
simulator
Tinker
based
Boards,
game
they
with an
don't-
economy and shit.
The
It
market
doesn't
can't
work like.
crash,
I mean,
right?
look. Here is the fundamental problem, and we can, if you guys want to finish up the year, there's nothing else that really happened. We had Invasion, we had a bunch of.
we
boost
pretty
notes,
much
we had a
covered
bunch of other
everything.
shit.
The Hypernet
We can go to the
relay
next. We can go to the
was a
next
thing,
thing,
and now
we
it's
can talk
not that
about this.
popular. So
Those
But the
fucking
point
Vegas?
is-
Whatever.
But
No,
the
it's
point
just
is,
nothing,
other games that are not Eve, they're not as old as
Killer
Eve.
B.
They're not.
Want to talk about Killer B?
No,
Not particularly.
he left,
Fine,
and
fine.
Sword-
Resigned and shit.
Swords back.
That's it.
Killer
Resigned
left,
and shit,
Sword
but, like,
came in.
honestly,
Fine.
after Vince resigned
Done.
that time, Killer B is kind of like it's like.
Well, all right. NC
We just
NC
expect
dot
that from
NC
NC
dot
dot
members
CSM.
don't tend to
At
finish
NC
off their
dot.
terms. It happens.
By the way,
And
if
we
you
will
guys
this year.
elect- if you
Blazing
guys
Bunny
elect
for CSM.
Blazing
Let's
Bunny
go.
won't
There you
quit.
go.
year.
Bunny's
Oh.
running.
Blazing
There you
Bunny
go,
won't
Bunny's
quit.
running.
Blazing Bunny will run
Oh,
the
hold
whole
on.
mile.
Bunny's
Tell
sticking
it-
around.
Tell us straight up. But are you going to resign?
Nope. I will not.
You
I've actually
will.
budgeted.
We
I
know
budgeted
you
time
will.
off. I've saved money. I've literally planned for
Once
the
you go to jail,
possibility.
motherfucker, you're totally going to resign.
I'm
No,
not.
dude.
No, I've literally planned for the
Better not.
possibility of me making it next cycle.
I'm telling
Good.
you, Blazing should
But my
have made
point
it instead
is-
of Kill It.
my-
I don't know
the
why
point
we
that I'm-
pushed Kill It instead of Blazing, but
Because
I voted
Killer was the
Blazing.
incumbent, so that's
Right.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
but-
standard.
And it's like everybody. I want to go back to the content thing, but first I want to say it's like everybody on the CSM who's been on there before has said 2 years is the 2 terms back to back is critical, right? Because first you build a relationship, then you make a change, right? You
I
can't.
don't
just,
think they have to be back to back.
or you just have to have 2 terms, basically.
There you go.
is-
Two
is-
terms
is
is
makes
good.
the
pushed.
sub.
So you can't just roll in your first term and then all expect to make a huge difference, because that doesn't seem to be
Why?
according to
Why?
most of the people I've
Do you
talked
have a
to.
set of balls on you?
I mean, I don't
Can
think
you
it works
sit
like
at the
that.
table, roll in your 5.0 with your hair back and flowing and shit like?
You know what's wild is
can't
I had
you
a
vanilla
5.0.
ice up on that shit and just be like, yo,
Is this a meme?
So
Is
we're
this
at
what's
that
happening?
point
I don't know.
No, like-
Blazy,
Honestly-
keep going.
Honestly,
Blazy,
I
keep
think
going.
that is how freaking like Golda Meir out there like did his shit.
Well, hold on. Blazy
I
wasn't
think
done.
he was like fucking totally flying into this, being like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk some shit."
Derek, let Blazing talk.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty much it. That's why I agreed for Killaby to be the one who was pushed, because he had the term under his belt. He had the relationship built up, and going into it, he looked like he was really serious about it. And I'm not saying he was. I don't know the background of why he had to step down or whatever. So I don't really want to speculate either. It's Sikander is just always on my bed. Leave my bed alone.
Dude, he's not on your bed, man.
Your dog's-
No, yeah, he
what was
is.
your
He's
dog's
like-
name?
Making fun of your dog?
Sikander?
Well, hold on. Is your dog named Sikander
Sikander
or like?
wishes he was on your bed.
Oh,
No, he always tells me to make my bed. It's wild.
of course, dude.
Oh, I
Fucking
thought
make
you
your
were
bed,
talking about
bro.
your dog. Damn.
Oh. Why
Yeah.
would you make your? That's my thing. It's like, I mean,
That being
I
said,
put my covers back over, but why would I make my bed, or
We're
I'm just gonna get back in it? You know when I make my bed?
We've done
All
so
right.
many shots.
I wash
But
my
I
sheets.
want to get back.
We gotta do
I wanna
more,
Get back
Learn
to,
how to categorize this.
And
I
that
want to
was
get back to the
alcohol.
point
Yeah,
that
when
Dirk was
Oh,
talking
no.
about
when I
before
wash
in
my
terms
bedding
of.
and then I put my sheets back on, that's
I
when I
wanna
make
get-
my bed.
Drayden's still talking.
I want
about
to talk
his
Sorry,
about
sorry,
what
let's
Dirk
go.
was talking about before, which is
Yeah.
why the problem with dial changes and flipping a switch and can we fix something by doing stuff like that. The problem
Oh.
that we have if we're
Vic, point after
constantly
you.
going to be constantly chasing the 2013 numbers and things like that, and we can talk about that in a
We're gonna
little
do a
bit
shot.
when we do the 10-year. The reality is Eve is a game that
Dirk, what's the
you
shot
can't
for?
you can't take Eve
We're
in a
sucking.
vacuum. All of the other games that are out, everything that's happening in the larger world, the economy, all kinds of shit, is going to have an impact on Eve in a way that other games don't have. So when you're talking about why can't we get back to the 2013 BTEC-R type login numbers? Well, that was a different world back then with different video games and systems and all kinds of shit that people weren't playing. And you can't roll the time back to 2013 and try to think you're going to get stuff done. So there's changes that beyond just the game that happen in the real world that impact who's playing and how they're playing that you're never going to be able to replicate like we did back then.